Let's start with something bold. There's a version of you that needs to die, not in a dark, morbid way. I'm talking about the version of you that clings to comfort, hides from truth, and quietly sabotages everything you could become. That version of you loves the easy way out. It tells you to hit snooze, to put off your dreams, to settle for good enough when you were made for greatness. And if you don't kill that version, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it will kill your potential. Most people think the greatest tragedy is failure. It's not. The real tragedy is being almost successful, almost courageous, almost who you were meant to be. It's tolerating the old you out of habit. It's living in neutral when you were designed to accelerate. Here's the truth. Growth isn't a stroke of luck. It doesn't come wrapped in convenience or wait until the timing feels perfect. Growth is a duty. It shows up when you stop waiting for change to happen and start creating it. It demands discomfort. It demands sacrifice. It demands a decision, your decision, to stop living on autopilot. Think about it. How often do we protect the version of ourselves that holds us back just because it's familiar? We stay loyal to patterns that no longer serve us. We give our time, energy, and attention to habits that were built for survival, not success. But the life you want, it doesn't exist inside that comfort zone. It exists just beyond it, in the friction, in the pressure, in the becoming. And yes, becoming someone new is painful, but do you know what's more painful? Regret. Waking up one day realizing you never evolved because you were too busy protecting your past, too busy being loyal to an identity you were supposed to outgrow. So today, this moment, is your call to transformation. You don't need permission, you don't need more time. You just need to decide that the old you, the one who hesitated, who feared, who delayed, is done. This is where change begins, with one choice, one bold act of personal rebellion. One declaration: I will no longer protect a version of me that was never meant to stay. There's something you need to understand right now. The version of you that got you here can't take you any further. That version was built for survival. It was shaped by fear, by trauma, by circumstances you didn't choose but had to endure. It developed habits to cope, to stay safe, to avoid risk, and maybe those habits worked for a while, but now they're holding you back. You see, there comes a time in every person's life when surviving is no longer enough. You want to thrive. You want purpose, peace, growth, but the future you're dreaming of, it has no room for the patterns that belong to your past. And here's the truth nobody tells you: becoming the person you want to be isn't some peaceful evolution. It's violent, it's raw, it's messy. It means waking up every day and choosing to go to war with the part of yourself that whispers, just stay the same. It's not glamorous, it's not Instagram-worthy, but it's necessary. Transformation is not about tweaking a few habits. It's about burning down the old framework completely. The excuses you used to lean on, gone. The stories you used to tell yourself about why you rewritten. The behaviors that once felt normal, they become unacceptable. And yes, it hurts. You'll feel the loss of your comfort zone like a phantom limb. But ask yourself this: what has your comfort zone really given you? Has it delivered the fulfillment you crave, the clarity you want, or has it only kept you stuck in loops, stuck in cycles, stuck in a life that's fine, but not extraordinary? You're not here for fine, you're here to evolve. So if the path ahead feels uncomfortable, good. That's the price of change. If it feels painful, good. That means you're shedding the skin of who you used to be. And if you ever doubt whether it's worth it, remember this: staying the same is not painless, it's just a slower kind of suffering. You are not supposed to feel ready, you're supposed to feel stretched. Because that stretch, that friction between who you are and who you're becoming, that's where greatness is born. This is the moment you stop negotiating with the old version of yourself. He doesn't get a vote anymore. You are not obligated to carry him forward, so ask yourself, who do you want to become, and what are you willing to let go of to meet him? Let me be honest with you: growth doesn't live in comfort. It never has. Growth lives in discomfort, in resistance, in the moments when your body wants to quit and your mind tells you to keep going. And yet, most people spend their lives running from that resistance. They avoid it like it's a threat, when in reality, it's the only way forward. Think about it. How often do we choose what feels good over what's good for us? We hit snooze instead of rising early. We avoid hard conversations because silence is easier. We scroll endlessly instead of building something that matters. But here's the brutal truth. Every time you choose comfort, you delay your own transformation. Growth doesn't happen when it's convenient, it doesn't knock politely. It demands to be earned, and it shows up dressed as challenge, as pressure, as friction. That's the test, and most won't pass it. Why? Because they're still waiting to feel ready. But growth doesn't care how you feel, it only responds to action. Consistent, deliberate, uncomfortable action. Now listen, there's a version of you out there, stronger, clearer, bolder. That version isn't a fantasy, he already exists. But he's buried under habits you've outgrown, under excuses you've told yourself for years. He's suffocating beneath the weight of your comfort zone. And only one thing can set him free: discipline. Not motivation, not luck, discipline. That means waking up when you don't want to, moving your body when it aches, focusing when your mind begs for distraction. It's not glamorous, but it's powerful, because every act of discipline chips away at the weaker version of you. And brick by brick, the stronger version begins to rise. You have to stop asking for easy. Easy is what keeps people average. It's the comfort food of failure. If you want to grow, really grow, you need to embrace resistance like it's your training ground. Like it's the gym for your soul, because that's what it is. The discomfort you feel, that's not a sign to stop. That's the sound of weakness leaving your body. So here's your challenge: reject comfort, ask for truth, ask for pressure. Welcome the struggle, because in that daily struggle, you're not breaking down, you're breaking through. You will feel tired, keep going. You will feel fear, push forward. You will feel doubt, act anyway. Because the man you're becoming isn't waiting at the finish line. He's built every single day you choose discipline over ease. And that decision, that's where transformation begins. Let me ask you something. How much longer are you going to let the weaker version of yourself run the show? You know, the one I'm talking about, the version that settles for good enough. The one who hides from responsibility, who postpones dreams with a quiet, convincing, maybe tomorrow. That voice has been with you for a long time, but now it's time to silence it. If you want to rise, really rise, you can't just improve him. You can't negotiate with him. You have to betray him. Yes, betray, because that version of you has been betraying your potential for years. He's the reason you've stayed in your comfort zone. He's the one who let fear call the shots and pride block progress. And if you don't replace him, he will keep stealing the life you were meant to live. The truth is, transformation doesn't come cheap. It comes at a cost, and the price is everything that makes you comfortable. Your laziness, gone; your pride, broken; your excuses, exposed and dismantled. Change demands a full surrender. It asks you to let go of everything soft, everything easy, everything average. Most people never change because they're waiting for permission, for motivation, for some magical right time. But here's the truth: there is no perfect time. The only time that matters is now. Change doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't respond to feelings, it responds to action. And if you don't act now, that lower self will tighten its grip even more. So what does this war look like in real life? It looks like choosing to move when you want to rest, speaking up when you want to stay silent, sticking to your standards when nobody's watching. It's waking up early even when you're tired. It's saying no to distractions and yes to the mission over and over again. This isn't glamorous, it's gritty, it's daily, and that's what makes it powerful. And yes, it will feel like pain, but that pain is not punishment. That pain is progress. It's the sound of your old self being buried beneath discipline. Let it burn, let it hurt. Because every time you act in spite of fear, discomfort, or doubt, you're not just building habits, you're building a new identity. Today, right now, you make a decision. You draw a line in the sand and declare, the old me is done. From now on, I will act from discipline, not emotion, from conviction, not convenience. Because that's how transformation begins, not with luck, not with waiting, but with a single, bold decision to become someone you've never been. Let me tell you something most people will never admit. Real transformation doesn't happen under the spotlight. It doesn't come wrapped in motivation or celebrated by crowds. The strongest version of you, the one you dream of becoming, is not created in moments of comfort. He is forged in silence, in struggle, and in solitude. There's no shortcut, no lucky break. You don't stumble into greatness, you build it. And you build it one brick at a time, each brick laid with pain, with repetition, and with purpose. Every early morning when no one's watching, every hard choice when no one's cheering, every disciplined action taken when your body screams to quit, that's when the new you is born. People talk about reinventing themselves like it's a new outfit or a rebranding, but this isn't reinvention, this is resurrection. You're not just tweaking the surface, you're tearing down the walls of who you used to be so that something stronger can rise from the ruins. That takes more than effort, that takes war. And here's the truth, it won't feel like success while you're in it. It will feel like discomfort, like sacrifice, like no one understands what you're doing, but that's because they're not supposed to. They're not walking your path, only you know what's at stake. Only you hear the voice inside that says, there's more in you. So the question is, are you willing to suffer for your future self? Are you willing to bleed in silence, knowing the results won't come today, but they will come? Every time you embrace the discomfort, every time you show up and push forward without applause, you're laying another brick in the foundation of your next level. And no one will see those bricks being laid, but one day they'll see the fortress you built and they'll call it unshakable. But you'll know the truth, it wasn't luck, it wasn't easy. It was you showing up day after day in silence with fire in your heart and discipline in your hands. So don't fear the quiet, don't fear the pain. That's where the real work happens. That's where the real you is being born. Keep going because brick by brick, battle by battle, you're not just changing your habits, you're resurrecting your life. Let's get one thing straight, you're either evolving or you're decaying. There is no middle ground, no neutral state. Every day, every decision, every thought is pulling you forward or holding you back. We live in a world that teaches us to wait. Wait until you're ready. Wait until it feels right. Wait for motivation, for clarity, for permission. But waiting is a trap because transformation doesn't happen when the timing is perfect. It happens when you decide you've had enough, when you stop waiting to feel different and start acting differently. Evolution isn't a gentle process. It's not some smooth transition. It's violent, it's messy, and it's urgent. You can't just wish your way into a new life, you have to force it into existence. Through choices that hurt, through habits that stretch you, through standards that choke out the old you. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The version of you that most people see, the normal you, is the very thing keeping you from who you're meant to be. That version of you hits snooze, scrolls endlessly, avoids the hard conversations, stays quiet when you should speak, and seeks comfort over challenge. That version isn't your ally, that version is your enemy. You can't change your life while staying loyal to your old patterns. You can't rise while defending your past. Growth demands betrayal, betrayal of your excuses, your fears, your comfort zone. It demands that you look your old self in the face and say, you don't get a say anymore. And I get it, change is scary. Evolution feels like chaos when you're in it. But what's the alternative? Decay, regret. Waking up one day realizing the life you wanted passed you by because you waited for change to feel easier. So don't wait, don't negotiate, don't ask for permission to become the next version of yourself. Claim it, build it. Bleed for it if you have to, because no one is going to hand it to you and no one is coming to save you. This is your responsibility. This is your mission. If the habits, thoughts, and behaviors you're carrying today were designed by the version of you from yesterday, ask yourself, do they deserve to survive your tomorrow? because time isn't slowing down, and every moment you hesitate, the life you want drifts further out of reach. It's time to evolve urgently, fiercely, and without apology. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked at a decision and asked yourself, does this move me closer to the person I'm becoming, or does it keep me tied to the version I'm trying to outgrow? That's the real question of transformation, because becoming your next level self isn't just about tweaking habits, it's about overhauling your identity. Too often, we try to slap new routines on top of old belief systems. We say we want change, but we're still thinking like the man who sleeps in, procrastinates, and makes excuses. And guess what? That old identity will always sabotage new habits if you let it live. If you truly want to rise, not just a little, but fully, you have to protect your vision like a lion protects its den. That means not everyone gets access, not every voice deserves to be heard. Not every habit belongs in your schedule, and not every version of you gets to survive. The man you're becoming, the focused one, the disciplined one, the one who walks with purpose, he needs protection. He needs space to grow. And more than anything, he needs clarity. Because if you're not clear about who you are becoming, then everything, every temptation, distraction, and excuse will feel justified. Here's the truth: transformation isn't about doing more. It's about becoming someone else entirely, and that takes rituals, routines, and standards so strong they leave no room for weakness. The old you thrives on comfort. The new you is forged in fire through early mornings, hard decisions, and showing up when no one's watching. Your environment, your mindset, your circle, they all need to match your identity upgrade. You don't keep a lion in a rabbit's cage, and you don't build greatness while surrounding yourself with mediocrity. Audit your inputs, audit your company, audit your thoughts. Every action you take must pass through one simple filter. Does this align with the man I'm becoming or the one I'm leaving behind? If it serves the old you, kill it. If it strengthens the new you, double down. You're not just building better habits. You're becoming someone unrecognizable to the version of yourself who once settled for average. And that identity shift, that's the real breakthrough. Let's be honest, growth comes at a cost, and one of the highest costs you'll ever pay is alignment. Not everyone who started the journey with you will finish it, and that's not betrayal, that's clarity. See, as you grow, your values change, your priorities shift, your tolerance for small talk, for excuses, for mediocrity, it drops to zero. And that's not arrogance, that's the natural consequence of leveling up. You weren't meant to fit into every room, you were meant to rise above the ones that no longer challenge you. You'll outgrow friendships, you'll outgrow environments. You'll even outgrow parts of yourself that once kept you safe, but now hold you back. And if that sounds harsh, good, because fire doesn't ask permission to burn, it just burns. And the man you're becoming, he is fire. People will say you've changed, and they're right, you should change, because the version of you that was built to survive, he can't thrive. That version learned to play it safe, avoid rejection, seek approval, but growth demands the opposite. It requires risk, it requires standing alone, it requires letting go of the pieces of your identity that were never truly you, just coping mechanisms in disguise. Here's a question to sit with. Are you willing to let go of what feels familiar for what will forge you? Because you can't carry your old self into your future, you have to kill him off. Kill the procrastinator, kill the people pleaser. Kill the man who waits for motivation, and in his place, build someone who moves with purpose, who speaks with conviction, who refuses to dim his light just to keep others comfortable. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to build something bigger, to lead, to ignite, to challenge the status quo. And that requires alignment at every level: your mindset, your habits, your relationships. Everything must point in the same direction, forward. So yes, it will hurt, letting go always does, but you are not here to be liked, you are here to be legendary. And that kind of life, it doesn't come from playing it safe. It comes from burning bridges to your old self and never looking back. This is not the season to apologize for growing. This is the season to own your evolution, boldly, unapologetically, completely. Let's get brutally honest for a second. Are you truly showing up for the person you're becoming, or are you still making excuses for the person you used to be? Success doesn't come to the one who wants it most. It comes to the one who shows up the most, day after day, without applause, without motivation, without permission. The truth is, your future self, the one with the power, peace, and purpose you dream about, is already within you. But he's trapped beneath your current habits, suffocating under your excuses, drowning in your distractions, and the only way to set him free is to show up for him every single day. This process isn't gentle. It's not poetic or glamorous, it's violent, it's gritty. It requires a level of personal discipline that most people will never even attempt, let alone maintain. But you're not most people. You're not here to survive, you're here to rise. That means no more emotional coddling, no more comforting the part of you that wants to take the easy way out. If you keep giving that version of yourself a voice, he'll keep sabotaging your future. You must cut off every belief that tolerates weakness, because weakness doesn't belong in the life you're building. Greatness isn't born from inspiration. It's born from standards, non-negotiable commitments you make to yourself even when the world isn't watching. Motivation is fleeting, standards are permanent. Think about it. Do you only show up when it feels good, or do you move forward regardless of how you feel? Because that's the difference between wishing and winning. The difference between almost and unstoppable. The man or woman you're becoming is forged in solitude, in repetition, in the moments you choose action over comfort, progress over pleasure, purpose over impulse. You're not reinventing yourself, you're resurrecting the strongest version of who you already are. You're peeling away every layer of doubt, fear, and laziness to reveal the unstoppable force beneath it all. And yes, this road will test you. You'll face silence, failure, fatigue, but that's not your enemy, it's your proving ground. It's where your future self begins to take form, where confidence is built not from praise, but from showing up even when no one notices. So if you're serious about your evolution, you must stop negotiating with your limitations. You don't need more motivation. You need more commitment, more honesty, more action. You need to look in the mirror and declare, I will not abandon the man I'm becoming. Show up for him today and again tomorrow, until showing up becomes who you are. Let me ask you something. Would you still keep going if no one clapped? Because true transformation isn't built in front of an audience. It's built in silence, in the dark corners of your day where no one sees you, where no one congratulates you, where no one cheers you on. That's where discipline lives and where greatness is born. You see, it's easy to move when people are watching, when there's applause, approval, or validation. But what about the mornings when it's just you and your excuses? What about the nights when fatigue tries to bargain with your goals? That's when most people stop. But the ones who don't, the ones who show up anyway, they become undeniable. You don't become extraordinary by accident. You become extraordinary by choosing discomfort over ease, by choosing discipline over emotion, by making daily progress even when there's no reward in sight. This is the slow, quiet work that changes lives. And here's the truth no one likes to talk about. You won't always feel inspired. You won't always feel strong. And that's okay, because your transformation is not about how you feel. It's about what you do, especially when it's hardest to do it. Every rep at the gym when no one's watching. Every early morning you resist the snooze button. Every decision to say no to comfort and yes to growth. Those are the bricks you're laying. One by one, they build the foundation for a life most people will never touch. And the old version of you, the one who made excuses, who lived small, who avoided the mirror, he doesn't just disappear. You have to bury him with action. With standards, with a relentless refusal to be average. And every time you choose the hard path, every time you keep going when applause is nowhere to be found, you dig the grave a little deeper. What remains is not a new you, but the real you. The one who's always been there, beneath the noise, beneath the fear, beneath the habits you didn't choose. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about stripping away everything that is truly you. You've always had greatness inside. The mission now is simple: remove what's not you, and do it not for likes, not for applause, not for attention, but because you decided you were worth it. So ask yourself, can I keep moving without recognition? Can I be proud of the progress no one sees? Because the moment you can answer yes to that is the moment your life begins to change. Here's something most people don't realize: there is no final version of you, no finish line. No moment where you arrive and get to coast. Growth isn't a goal, it's a lifestyle. It's a commitment to wake up every day and say, who I was yesterday is not enough for where I'm going. And that requires something brutal, something most avoid: daily death and daily resurrection. The death of comfort, the death of old patterns, the death of the version of you that made excuses, that played small, that said, maybe tomorrow. And in its place, a man who chooses fire, a man who's willing to rise again, stronger, clearer, sharper. This isn't about chasing perfection. It's about setting a standard so high that your former self couldn't survive in it. Think about that. Are your current standards something your old self would crumble under? They should be. Because the point of growth isn't to carry your past with you, it's to outgrow it so thoroughly that you become unrecognizable even to yourself. And when you do that, when your life is guided by non-negotiables instead of feelings, you stop needing motivation. You stop looking for applause. You don't wake up hoping to win. You wake up knowing you will because your actions demand it. Men with low standards chase, they beg, they hope, but men of high standards, they attract. They command presence not by what they say, but by who they've become in private. Behind closed doors, in silence, when no one is watching. That's what this lifestyle is about: building an internal system so disciplined that the world bends to meet it. Not because you shouted louder, but because you became more aligned, more prepared, more relentless than anyone around you. So let me ask you, what standard are you living by right now? Is it built for who you're becoming, or does it keep your old self alive just a little longer? Raise it, sharpen it, strengthen it. Until your schedule, your words, your actions all echo the same message. I'm not chasing success. I'm living in a way that leaves success no other option but to show up. And when that happens, your life becomes proof, not of luck, not of talent, but of a man who refused to stop growing. There comes a moment when you no longer recognize the man you used to be. And that moment, it's not born in applause, in likes, or in milestones. It's born in silence, in solitude, in sweat. You strip away every belief, every behavior, every excuse that no longer serves the mission, because now it's clear. Your life is the mission, not comfort, not approval, not playing small to fit into rooms that were never built for you. The unbreakable version of you doesn't beg for clarity. He moves with it. He doesn't chase validation. He validates himself with discipline, with consistency, with presence. This version doesn't apologize for dreaming bigger. He doesn't shrink to protect the egos around him. He rises. And in doing so, he becomes a mirror, reflecting to others what is possible when a man commits fully to becoming who he was always meant to be. But here's the truth most won't tell you: becoming that man requires loss. You lose friends who don't understand your focus. You lose habits that gave you temporary comfort. You lose the version of you that played the victim, blamed the world, and waited to be rescued. And what do you gain? Strength, vision, alignment, a sense of peace that doesn't come from ease, but from knowing you're walking in truth. This isn't about becoming better than anyone else. It's about becoming unshakable within yourself, being able to walk through fire and not flinch. To stand alone if you must, and still move forward with power in your step and fire in your chest. You don't need to be louder. You need to be clearer. You don't need more time. You need more purpose. And you don't need permission, because greatness was never meant to be granted. It was meant to be claimed. So take this final truth with you. The highest version of yourself doesn't live in fantasy. He lives in your habits, in your decisions, in your refusal to quit. And he is waiting not for the perfect moment, but for your full commitment. No more hesitation, no more apologies, no more shrinking. You are no longer becoming him. You are him.